All right. Greetings, everyone. I'm live here. Greetings. Coming to you. The title of this video is going to be Redemption Skill Sets I'm Looking For, Part 2. I want to go over this. I just thought of this at the spur of the moment. It's going to be like a freestyle. But before we get started, I'd like to give a disclaimer as usual. This video is for educational, informational, and entertainment purposes only. Please understand everyone's individual circumstance or situation may be different. It's up to every individual competent person to please do his or her homework and research regarding the matter being discussed. This information is not to be construed as legal advice. In the event you feel you need to seek a competent professional, lawyer, CPA, financial, or whomever, please do so at one's own leisure. Dorsey's Resource is not liable or responsible for any misuse of this information. These are simply my thoughts and opinions on the topic. With that being said, all rights are reserved. Now, to get into the topic, I wanted to go over, and this I should have put in Q&A. We don't really have a lot of people. It's late. I understand work night, school night, etc. Get into what skill sets I'm looking for. I wanted to go over this again, and I mentioned this in a previous video a long time ago. In case those of you all who may not be aware, not just the recent video that I did, but some other ones. I actually did a video a while ago. I can't remember when specifically, and it didn't really go as I had intended. There were some individuals, I think, who had some good intentions. But when people say that they want to contact me, understand at the level I'm at, I still do research. I want to thank you guys out there that have inboxed me. It's not that I'm ignoring you through Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. That's thanked me personally for waking you up, uplifting you, sharing positive, powerful, high-powered information you guys were not aware of. Maybe I could do a screen capture down the line and show evidence of that, how people have thanked me, etc. But the skills I'm looking for is specifically, and I know some out there might not think this is possible, but when I attended that event some years ago, the PTK, you know, in case you guys don't know, that stands for the Pastor Tony King Conference. Some years back, I learned about the private sector, and from studying in the redemption movement, from my experience, I asked an individual that I used to attend these classes with. We discovered that this goes real high up. It is real. It's not contrary to popular belief. There is validity to it. This is not the so-called sovereign citizen nonsense. That's an umbrella term that's used to discredit the redemption movement or people looking into this type of information. But at the same time, I will tell you, I was informed it is unconventional, but that doesn't mean just because one may have had a negative experience, or one may not be aware of as much information or be as versed with the legal aspect dealing with pertaining to the law, doesn't mean that it's not true or it's not real or it's some kind of scam or con. Not saying you have those things out there, you do, but it's up to everyone, and why I give a disclaimer, to make their own individual assessment and evaluation of the situation. That's not my call, not my judgment. What I am looking for is an elite who knows how to access the funds from the DTC, that stands for Depository Trust Corporation, or someone who knows how to bring private currency, or known as dark money, into the public. Whatever, I'm gonna be straight up with someone with that skill set. And there's things, credentials, I've looked into certain resumes that individuals may have. Also, if this it would be nice if I could meet an elite, but there's different levels to this. There's some people that may not be right at that plateau, but there are levels beneath. They call 6 degrees of separation. It could be less than that, where you're 6 people away from knowing somebody high up. You could be 2 or 3 people away. A phone call. You guys kind of get the example. That knows how to access the units of credit in the private sector and knows how to bring them in the public, and also has knowledge that's proficient with the 1099 process. Because the problem that I've run into pertaining to this type of information is that there's some individuals will try to say that some people are looking for information for free. I want to let you guys know I've done my due diligence out the years, where I've studied. However, when you get to a certain amount of information, it's like at a certain level, it's kept very secretive, like the goodies, the top-notch stuff. And then you also have to have a open mind, because I asked a friend of mine years ago, why would they specifically come to people in the movement, the so-called redemption movement, with this type of information. Trying to get better lighting in here. And he said it's because we had more of an open mind compared to individuals in the general public, that we were more, since we had more of an open mind, we thought out of sight, out of mind. They understood that they could recruit us, because they were also looking, they had a plan when they collapsed the economy. They didn't want to do the cleanup work themselves. They wanted individuals to come in from the private sector or some people that they recruit to basically clean up the mess that they kind of caused. And then there's different factions with the cabal. I know this sounds like an oxymoron contradiction, but you have the good cabal and the evil cabal. One group, and these are not my words, you can look this up, look up the Georgia Guidestones, look up the part specifically. I guess somewhere in the state of Georgia. I've never been down there. I heard that they have full 24-hour security now, because some people some years back, I heard, allegedly vandalized them, and my friend of mine calls the higher ups the Lale Lulelo, and he says they weren't too happy about that, so they had 24-hour security now. But they state on a certain section on there to reduce the world's population and manage it no more than 500 million or something like that. Supreme L in the chat says, peace, Dorsey. Peace to the God. Supreme Islam, brother. Peace to you. Welcome. Hotep. And also Shalom. I recognize everyone's religion, culture, or whatever. Want to thank you guys for joining. Islam, appreciate you for coming into the chat. Greetings to you as well. So I'm looking for somebody who has, it was from the event that I attended, because we were kind of left hanging when the individual, I won't say the name, when he disappeared. There was another individual believed to be sent out to help with the paperwork. The problem is that with that type of education, it takes like it could take 10 to 30 years worth of information. They want you to cram in a matter of 2 or 3 years or 5 years, literally. Because remember, these people had an advantage. They were taught by their parents. They were sent to private schools by invitation only, or sent to private seminars at a young age to learn this information. And they have a network of people within their circle that they have access to within their private network who are willing to share the correct information. Now, the problem I have being in the public sector is trying to find someone at the level that I'm at, because someone who's below me, the level that I'm at, that's like at a beginner level. You know how when you play a video game, for just using this as an example, they have like novice, beginner, then they have medium level, then they have hard, or then they have super hard. But different games have different classifications. So I'm saying it's different levels to this, and I'm at a certain level. And if I take on a beginner or novice, that will only slow me down for the level that I'm at. I need the people with the skill sets that have the time, the capability, that are above me, that could see the benefit, where I could be also maybe an asset to them, because I believe in, you pour into me, I pour back. You do for me, I'll do for you. The company I work for actually has a saying, and I brought this up one time, where they say, you do for us, we'll do for you. Someone in the chat says, Hotep. Hotep, I didn't see the name real quick because it flashes on the screen when I'm on my phone. If I was on my laptop when I would go live, but the reason I started using my phone, it has a better megapixel as far as the camera. Thank you. Greetings to you, the other member who joined in the chat. But I had some plans, like I'm looking for somebody that's at a level that's higher than the level that I'm at, that can pull me through, and I will keep that name of that individual private. Like I said, if I meet someone with the skill sets, the proper credentials, you will have a friend for life. I mean, I'm trying to get ushered. I know about the private sector. I'm not talking about the private sector that's public, but the free private sector, and there were, when I attended that event some years back, there were some individuals who that wanted to leave, that said they didn't want to be up under the certain individual, and he just told them, he said, you will be on your own. Because see, I was explaining to a friend of mine, there's knowledge that I have that once I get access to the funds, I'll be able to hire the lawyers, the CPAs, what I need people to think for me or do what that have those credentials, and I'm willing to pay for it. Because imagine on a small level, if just using this as an example, if I was willing to get the education to pay for the webinars and things, which I have, and you know, sometimes going in with other people, but even myself, because there's some individuals that don't want to pay, they just want this information all absolutely free, you know. And I have my opinions. We had a discussion about this on a conference call I was on a while back, a couple different discussions, and some people have various opinions. Me personally, I do understand people being compensated, paying them for their time and energy, because time is something that you can never get back. That's why I can only deal with so many people. Says I need the education and I can pay. King OCO, yeah, okay, I see you in the chat, King OCO. I'm not really sure yet. Like I said, I'm going over, when I get inquiries of people that say they want to get in touch with me or contact me, I'm looking for certain credentials. Like specifically, this would be the icing on the cake. Is really, I would prefer a female, because generally, reason I mention women generally have better clerical skills. Clerical involves you have to know how to type up paperwork, office administration skills, word processing, stuff of that nature. Guys are really not generally as tech savvy in that category. In other areas, guys may be, but however, when it comes to clerical skills, because some of this high level information, you have to be able to be good at filing paperwork, you know, printing up documents on legal size paper, using office equipment, typewriters, even if you want your documents to be more professional. Now, some people, when they use the 1099s and stuff, they write in their name, but I have a certain individual in my group, what I admire about him, he's always wanted to be professional. He never wanted stuff to be sloppy, but we all are born with different personalities. We come from different backgrounds. Some people have a former military background, which helps them out in terms of, a lot of people I met who are former military are very good at being organized. One of my former girlfriends I sought out years ago, she went to the same college I went to, actually got her degree. She majored in office administration. So we were great help to one another, where I would share information and empower her, show her how to be on the do not detain list to protect herself from the police. And then she in turn would help me with the clerical skills, the areas that I was weak in, as far as computer typing, stuff of that nature. I'm a little bit more proficient at in certain areas now. So it was a give and take. You know, we would pour into each other. And that's what it should be, balanced, because you have people that come in, they just want stuff for free. They want to take. And that's why I'll tell you straight up, I'm looking specifically for people or individuals that already are knowledgeable of the private sector. And someone said, oh, the elites, they're not going to reach out to you. You might as well forget it. No, I actually believe there has been some. One lady in particular, I didn't follow through on this contact right away. Not saying she's still around. She actually left her number, and I believe she was a member of the private sector. I remember her name. I'm not saying her name. I also met some people at the event I attended some years ago who were definitely already there, pretty much indirectly have gone through the window. And it was something that you kind of had to figure out from attending the event, but I didn't know at the time, before they shut the operation down and they told the head person, the figurehead, to shut up or be quiet for 3 years until he was able to come back out publicly, which happened last November. He told us to try to reach out to those people at the event. Had I known that when I attended that event at the World Marriott Hotel in December of 2009, there was an individual that I met when we were getting ready to have our paperwork processed. I could have stayed in touch with that individual, but I wanted to respect his privacy as far as being a member of the private sector. So I did not really press him, but he really opened up to me and shared some things with me. And some individuals who came from Michigan who were with me, they had to leave early because the people who got a chance to get in the line early, if they had flights that were getting ready to leave out, they got a chance to get their paperwork processed. So I went with them to stand in the line once I was okay by my cousin, who was one of the staff members or higher up. another individual who was working the door really opened up and shared some things with me. I won't go into the details how we met. Really good fella, and I just wanted to respect his privacy. But however, if I'd have known that the individual high up said to attempt to reach out to those people, I could have broken the ice with them. You know, who knows where it could have gone. I could have already been a member, already had my paperwork and stuff processed, and I wouldn't have never been on YouTube. Simple as that. I wouldn't have never gone public. That's the only reason I've gone public, and I'm specifically looking for someone who has the skill set where they may be even knowledgeable of the 1099 forms, the GSA forms, where they've had success. I don't want to hear like fairy tale stories I get from people. I've gotten emails where they say, I'm a secured party creditor. No, I need credibility, evidence that you're proficient, you know how to make the stuff go through. I've met people, however, the hard, difficult part, of course, is trying to get them to take the time. And some individuals, I believe, may have crossed over. It's kind of with them, it's like I don't know what to really call it, a crab in a barrel or jealousy type thing, where it's like they feel like they made it, but they don't want to see you make it or whatever, which I don't really get, because if I cross over, I'm going to help people. I already did a video on paying it forward, the type of humanitarian projects I plan to do, but I can't go through with that if I'm not on the proper side already. And I still have to do the proper paperwork and stuff to as far as studying, continuing education, because this information is high level. It's like unconventional education, of the equivalent of a college university. It was stated to me. This is literally what it is. This redemption education is real, and it's related to the collegiate class, business and law. Okay, said Money Boy in the building. What's up, fam? Money Boy in the building, fam. Greetings to you, Money Boy. Welcome. So just breaking down, continuing to go over, this is what I'm looking for. I already went over humanitarian project ideas, from food. I want to donate food, Gleaners, food banks, Forgotten Harvest, Rescue Mission, Salvation Army, Red Cross. Would like to invest in renewable energies, wind turbines, revitalizing urban communities like real estate. So I would need to find developers and things, but that takes time, and I would prefer to have the infrastructure, my structures in place. So because when they held off these years, an individual disappeared, and some of us, we didn't have anyone to go to, that's like time that was wasted. Where now, since he's come back, all of a sudden it's like it's a stampede, and we got to do all this in a big hurry, a rush, you know, in a short time frame. It's like trying to cram the equivalent of 30 to 40, 50 years worth of information in a matter of 2 years or less than a year. It's just not going to happen. You know, I'm just saying, you know, just my opinion with that. So it's different levels to this. So I'm looking for like advanced classes, like in grade school. So I'm like at an advanced level, but there's people higher up, more proficient than I am. And there's people who do teach, however, they're filled up. But I'm specifically looking for someone who has credentials or background or knowledge of the private free sector, not to be confused with the private sector that's public, that says, hey, Dorsey, I feel your pain. I understand where you're coming through. I want to assist you. I want to walk you through, you know. And if it was a female, that would be lovely. That would be the icing on the cake. Like I said, I'm a loyal person. You would have a friend for life, integrity. Because I give the example that some of the cabal people, where they're so wicked or so evil, they can't even trust us, their own cronies, to be to handle some of their private affairs that they need to trust. So they'll find people with good personalities. They'll recruit people like myself to take advantage of. However, I want to work with people who, you know, have and more, I would say, integrity, which implies honesty, loyalty, being humble, you know, being honest, truth, and integrity, you know, having honor. You know, that's what I'm specifically, you know, more so the criteria that I would like. But I understand the way life works. You can't have it all, you know, both ways or all the way sometimes. But however, if I was able to meet someone, that's what I'm looking for specifically, someone who's knowledgeable, where they might be knowledgeable of the 1099 forms, how to discharge debt effectively, where there's no reversals and things, because those transactions, those TDA accounts were real, by the way. And I mentioned this in a previous video. It was stated by this individual, those transactions used to go through years ago with no reversals, I was told. I can't remember if he mentioned it at a seminar or if it was on an audio, but I'm not saying the individual's name. He is already there, already a member of the elite private sector, and he's dealing with a whole plethora of people. But he mentioned that when we would do those so-called secret accounts where you would use the number from the back of your SSN, but at the time, some years back, I think we were doing it differently, because I didn't know that the other way they were straight up using your SSN number as the account number, which makes sense, because that's what everyone, all these big corporations within the system, they also benefit off of behind the scenes, where they can come in as intermediaries. I won't go into the details, but a certain individual explained that in the webinar, how they can tap in to our exemption account, because like it's a lien that's placed. However, there's other ways to bulletproof yourself as you're transitioning to become private, and that's like a whole nother separate topic or class. But that's why, specifically, because of I already paid the money for the seminars already years ago. It was kind of frustrating to hear they wanted us to do the paperwork again, and like I said, you know, some of us would like the reassurance that they were going to assist us or hold us by our hand, because many of us, we had already paid for the have the paperwork and stuff processed. Matter of fact, they're still holding our documents like that was originally processed back in December of 2009, before we went into 2010. The paperwork, my DTC forms, like my wizard, my eligibility questionnaire, my birth certificate, the social security card I submitted was in there. The DDC form, that was like a condensed version to show your banking information. Says Eli T says you don't know what you're talking about. Okay, so yeah, we got a troll in here. So if I, you know, unfortunately, you know, you hide behind a ghost account, you know, and you don't show your real face, which is a real cowardly move. You know, I always challenge, I say to the trolls, please show your face. If you're gonna talk trash, if you're gonna come in here, have a debate, but show a real account with a real name and a real face. You know, because other than that, it's just a troll. Says, you know, so I mean, I don't know who you are. You come in here, you know, you're talking smack, you know, and the type of energy, but I'm not gonna it's not gonna affect me at the end of the day. I'm still gonna be high energy. Says Eli T, leave, you gatekeeper. Thank you, King. Also appreciate it. I'll have to get so I can get some moderators to block whoever this is out, because I don't know how to do it on my phone yet. Let me know, guys, if there's a way to block people through the phone. I know there's a way. If I was on my computer, either my desktop or my laptop, I'm just gonna block them. And that's why I want you guys, thumbs up the videos, let the haters, the trolls know, you know, because they're you know, burning deep down inside. They don't really, you know, some individuals, gatekeepers, don't want this information out there because they want to keep you programmed and brainwashed. You know, like I notice, not trying to get political, but every time the elections come around, a certain group says, want you to get registered, want you to vote, which is another contract they don't explain. But they want to keep you programmed, and a lot of these politicians, they make all these promises to you, and you know, you got to look at their policies. Not, it says, baby girl says, for sure I really did. Okay, I don't know what they're referring to, but you got to look at their politicians' policies, what they promise to do, because at the end of the day, if they're not delivering on their promises, why do you vote for them? You know, and identity politics is not about personality, but about the policies. No matter how much you dislike this individual, this person, compare what did policy-wise. You know, what did for example, what did number 44 do versus number 45? Look at their policy specifically and analyze it. You know what I'm saying? Even locally, where you at? A lot of politicians say, rah, rah, rah. They get people hyped up with these false hopes and false promises. And you look at the districts that they control. Look at a certain individual. I saw a video somebody posted on Facebook out in California For example, Maxine Waters district, you had all of these homeless people living on the street. It was deplorable conditions, really bad. You know, it was just horrible. Even in my home city, East Cleveland, you know, even though I live in Michigan now, but I saw someone do a separate video, and these are liberal Democratic controlled areas. You know, I'm just saying, I'm not a registered voter, because that's another contract. It's a whole nother subject within itself I could delve into. I have evidence too. I've already gone over many of you guys already know me, that I've spoken to off the chat. So just going over to finish up, these were the skill sets that I'm looking for, of course. And it's different levels, as I said, to go over this. There's advanced, it's like having advanced classes. If you've been in college, high school, grade school, you have like preparatory or advanced classes for certain students, people that are at different levels versus other people or whatnot. So that's kind of why I'm looking for what I'm looking for specifically. But those are the people I'm going to be more prone to answer the phone to, that have credentials, because I mentioned this specifically before, and it's like some people, it goes through one ear and comes out the other. But like I said, I've got some great feedback, some people I do plan on reaching out to, but it takes time to do it, you know, when you have certain obstacles that I'm dealing with, I mentioned in previous videos. However, I'm optimistic and I'm hopeful and grateful, and I'm still going to go through with the mission. I have a friend who reached out to me. I'm considering and I'm evaluating the proposal that was brought to my attention. A friend of mine has some very good credentials. He's no longer in Michigan, but he's still connected here. He used to work for somebody who was a businessman, and I won't go into all of his background, but has very great, excellent credentials and some other skill sets. And I'm going to evaluate and go over some things too. And hopefully those of you all who know about the reset, that will take place when it's supposed to. There will be classes that will be set up to properly educate people, to give them the proper tutelage, because I think that's one problem that would solve like a lot of people who are less informed, that go and tie up the court systems and stuff like that, because they don't have a legal background, they haven't received the proper education. And they said that could even be part of someone's humanitarian projects. By the way, that was mentioned by certain individuals some years back, that if you want to do a humanitarian project, you could also use it to pay for classes for people to receive this higher level information. Of course, you know, they're going to screen them, background check, stuff like that. But for trust, learning about trust, how to operate properly without commingling, mixing public with private, keeping things in the proper jurisdiction, learning about status. You know, someone could fund through their humanitarian project, if they already had the funding and know what to do, they could, you know, utilize classes and for funding for that. So, you know, that XYZ. So with that being said, I'm going to get ready to shut things down right here. I want to thank you guys for joining me. If you want to follow me, you can follow me on Facebook at Dorsey's Resource. You can follow me on Twitter at Dorsey's Resource. And of course, obviously, I'm on YouTube at Dorsey's Resource. And thank you guys for joining me who did take the time to watch this video. I appreciate you. To all, take care.